कस्तूरी तिलकं ललाटपटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभम् नासाग्रे वर्मौक्तिकं करतले वेणुः करे कङ्कणम् सर्वाङ्गे हरिचन्दनं सुललितम् कंठे च मुक्तावली गोपास्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपाल चूड़ामणि वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंस चाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. We are reading from Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, and we have completed 54 chapters in the 10th canto, Dasam Skand. The 50th chapter is about the battle with Jarasandh and the creation of Dwarka. 51st chapter was the episode of Kal Yavan and Muchukund. In the chapter 52, Shri Krishna arrives in Dwarka, and then the marriage of Balramji takes place. And in that chapter, there was this messenger from Rukmini who comes to Shri Krishna. In the chapter 53, we learned how Rukmini was kidnapped by Shri Krishna. This is what Rukmini wished. She is Lakshmi personified. She wants to get married only to Shri Krishna, and how Shri Krishna plays the Leela and brings Rukmini with him. That was chapter 53. And today in the chapter 54, we will read about how Shishupal and his friends and Rukmi, who is the brother of Rukmini, they all get defeated by Shri Krishna, and Shri Krishna gets married to Rukmini. So that was 54, sorry. And that we covered in the previous session. And today we will take up the chapter 55, which is about Pradyumna, the son of Krishna and Rukmini. So let's begin the session, but before that we will sing a bhajan. Radhe Radhe.
I'll read the beginning of it.
Yes.
O Sham Sundar, Shri Krishna, you always dwell in my heart. Please accept and relish these various foods that I am offering to you. You ate the berries offered by the tribal woman Shabri and the dry rice offered by the poor Sudama. Please eat my offering with love as well. You rejected the opulent feast offered by Duryodhan and instead went to Vidur's house and relished the simple green vegetables offered with love. Oh, my Samsundar, please accept and enjoy this food in such a way that it becomes the nectar of divine love. Oh, Samsundar, after eating, please offer this food to Radharani, the touch of whose lips will make it even more delicious. Oh, Shri Krishna, whoever gets a little of this food, may that person become yours forever. O beloved of Mira, please come and let me have. Uh, I think that's a different song. Have your food. Have your food. Yeah.
राधे राधे। श्याम रसिया मेरे मन बसिया, रुचि रुचि भोग लगाओ रसिया। श्याम रसिया मेरे मन बसिया, रुचि रुचि भोग लगाओ रसिया। रुचि रुचि भोग लगाओ रसिया। बिलनी के बेर सुदामा के तंदुल, बिलनी के बेर सुदामा के तंदुल, प्रेम से भोग लगाओ रसिया। रुचि रुचि भोग लगाओ रसिया। श्याम रसिया मेरे मन बसिया, रुचि रुचि भोग लगाओ रसिया। दुर्योधन की मेवा त्यागी, दुर्योधन की मेवा त्यागी, साग विदुर घर खायो रसिया। रुचि रुचि भोग लगाओ रसिया। साग विदुर घर खायो रसिया। रुचि रुचि भोग लगाओ रसिया। श्याम रसिया मेरे मन बसिया, रुचि रुचि भोग लगाओ रसिया। ऐसो भोग लगाओ मेरे रसिया, ऐसो भोग लगाओ मेरे रसिया। प्रेमामृत बन जाए रसिया। रुचि रुचि भोग लगाओ रसिया। प्रेमामृत बन जाए रसिया। रुचि रुचि भोग लगाओ रसिया। श्याम रसिया मेरे मन बसिया, रुचि रुचि भोग लगाओ रसिया। Vijay Bhaiya, you would like to sing?
ऐसो भोग
राधा रानी
लगाने के अधरन धर, राधा रानी के अधरन धर, और सरस बनायो रसिया, और सरस बनो रसिया। जो कोई इस भो जो
और ही सरस बनाओ
बनाओ
रसिया।
रसिया।
श्याम
श्याम
रसिया
रसिया
मेरे
मेरे
मन
मन
बसिया।
बसिया, रुचि रुचि भोग लगाओ रसिया। जो
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 कोई
कोई इस भोग को पाए, जो
जो
कोई
कोई इस
इस
भोग
भोग,
को पाए,
सो तेरो बन जाए रसिया, सो तेरो बन
जो बन
जाए।
जाए रसिया। तो तेरो
तेरो
बन
बन
जाए
जाए।
रसिया।
श्याम
श्याम
रसिया
रसिया मेरे
मेरे
मन
मन
बसिया।
बसिया, रुचि
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 भोग
भोग लगाओ
लगाओ
रसिया।
रसिया।
मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर, मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर, आकर दरस दिखाओ रसिया। रुचि रुचि भोग लगाओ रसिया, आकर दरस दिखाओ रसिया। रुचि रुचि भोग लगाओ रसिया, श्याम रसिया मेरे मन बसिया। रुचि रुचि भोग लगाओ रसिया, रुचि रुचि भोग लगाओ रसिया, रुचि रुचि भोग लगाओ रसिया। श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की
कार की
जय। श्रीमद युगल सरकार की जय।
जय।
जय जय श्री राधे,
राधे
जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे। Our koti koti pranam to the lotus feet of Sri Hari and Sri Guru. Our koti koti pranam to Swami Mukundanandji. My humble pranam to each one of you. And now let us read from the 55th chapter, Canto 10, which is about Pradyumna's legend. Shukdev ji now resumes, Dear Parikshit, in the past, once Kamadev was burned to ashes by Lord Shiva's fury. Kamadev, then praying to the Supreme Lord, had sought a physical body to continue with his devotion to the Lord. Accordingly, he was supremely graced to be born as a son to the Lord and Rukmini, and was famed as Pradyumna. Comparable to his father Shri Krishna in every respect, a Mayavi demon king named Sambar was aware that Pradyumna would be responsible for his death. So, using his illusionary tricks, kidnapped the 10-day-old infant Pradyumna from the maternity room and dropped the infant into the sea. A huge, mighty fish in the sea swallowed the infant Pradyumna, which was later caught by the fisherman. The fisherman then brought this mighty huge fish to the royal kitchen of King Shambara. When the cooks cut open the fish, they then discovered baby Pradyumna in its belly and handed him over to a maid Mayavati to take care of the infant. While cook Mayavati was pondering and confused over the turn of events, the Lord's glorious devotee Devarshi Narad Muni then arrived and explained to her the real identity of the baby, who was Pradyumna, and the events which got the baby to her. O Parikshit, Mayavati herself was in fact Devi Rati, the spouse of Kamadev, and was only waiting for Kamadev to be reborn with a physical body. Aware of the facts now, Mayavati devoted herself in taking care of the child. So, very interesting story. Shri Krishna has 16,108 wives, and with each wife he has 10 sons. So Sri Krishna, who is the greatest yogi, is also considered the greatest bhogi, because he is married to 16,108 wives. And not only is he married to 16,108 wives, Maharaji says that he is in Madhurya Bhav with every person, every woman, every married or unmarried woman. Shri Krishna is in Madhurya Bhav because everyone loves Shri Krishna. So Shri Krishna's leelas are aparampar. It cannot be understood. So from a spiritual perspective, every soul is feminine, and the only masculine figure is Shri Krishna. So every soul is the beloved of Shri Krishna, or every soul is the lover of Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna is the supreme beloved. So because the soul is a fraction of Shri Krishna, mame vansho jiva loke jiv bhuta sanatanaha. So why we are always seeking Sri Krishna? Because Sri Krishna is the supreme bliss, the greatest happiness. And we all want happiness. And not only we want happiness, we want the eternal happiness, the happiness which never goes away. Also, we want the growing happiness, not a little magnitude. We want very high quantum of happiness, in fact, infinite happiness, and we want happiness for eternity. Now, that is only possible with Shri Krishna. That is why every soul is attracted to Shri Krishna. But some are aware that we need to follow Shri Krishna, and most of us are unaware. But even while being unaware, we are seeking happiness. So, is there anybody who is not seeking happiness? So, if everybody is seeking happiness, that means everybody is seeking Shri Krishna. So, this is the Tattva Gyan basic knowledge which I thought I will share in this context. So, what has happened? Lord Shiv had, out of anger, burnt Kamadev to ashes. This happened during the time when goddess Sati had immolated herself because she had been humiliated in the yajna of her father Daksha Prajapati. Daksha Prajapati had ego battle with Lord Shiv, who was his son-in-law. So when Lord Shiv did not get up in one of the assemblies, that had infuriated Daksh Prajapati, and Daksh Prajapati, when he arranged this great yajna, he had a seat for everyone except Lord Shiv. So when Sati arrived there, though it was not with the consent of Lord Shiv had always wanted Sati not to go, but Sati had gone there, and then when she found that there is so much of humiliation going on for Lord Shiv, she couldn't control her emotion and she had immolated herself. Now she was born as Parvati, and now Parvati has to get married to Lord Shiv, but Lord Shiv was in meditation. So Kamadev had been requisitioned to go and take Lord Shiv out of the meditation. So with Rati, he played all the orchestrations and tried to create the desire in Lord Shiv's heart. But what was the result? When Shiv opened his eyes, he burnt Kamdev to ashes. And then Kamdev was also given the boon, if I remember correctly, that you will be called Anand, without body, and then you will be known as this. So the same Kamdev is now getting a body, and he has been born as Pradyumna. And that Pradyumna, we heard it was put into the sea, and how the fish had swallowed, and that fish was brought in the kitchen of Shambara Sur. And when the fish was cut open, Pradyumna emerged. And then Naraji comes and tells Mayavati, who is a chef in the kitchen, that this is Pradyumna and you are Rati. So this is your union. And let's see what happens in the next slide. As Pradyumna grew up in a short time to be a powerful youth and displayed the qualities and features of Sri Krishna which attracted the love of all females towards him, even Mayavati was getting attracted towards him, which perturbed Pradyumna, who then questioned her as to how her motherly affection could turn into a beloved's feelings. Mayavati then explained to Pradyumna that she was really his wife Rati, and how he was Lord Narayan's son and was dropped into the sea by the evil demon Sambara as a 10-day infant. And through the fish, and though the fish through the fish had reached Mayavati. Mayavati then advised Pradyumna to destroy the powerful demon Shambara, who was expert in illusions, and so could be defeated by using illusionary and conjuring tricks, and slaying Sambarasur should go to Dwarka, as Mother Rukmini was yearning and waiting for him. Verse 10:55-15, Mayavati tells Pradyumna about his mother Rukmini's plight. Parishocate mata kurariva gat praja. Parishocate mata kurariv gat praja. Putra sneha kula dina vavatsa gauravatura. Translation: overwhelmed with parental affection, your affected and disconsolate mother is waiting like a she osprey whose young has departed, or like a cow deprived of its calf. Mayavati, who herself was adept in tricks and illusions, then taught Pradyumna a special spell called Mahamaya, which could negate all illusion to protect oneself. Pradyumna then approached demon Sambara and taunting, insulting him, challenged him to a fight. Sambara reacted like a snake disturbed, caught his mace, and with indignation went forth to face Pradyumna. So, Pradyumna is the son of Rukmini, and he has to be brought back to Dwarka, and that requires a battle with demon Sambar. So, let's see what happens in the next slide. Vijay Bhaiya and others, if you wish to read, please go
Yeah.
ahead.
I'll just read this one. Swirling his mace and with fierce velocity, its roaring like thunder, flew towards Pradyumna, who then struck the incoming mace, throwing it aside and then threw his own mace at Shambhara. Shambhara then using his conjuring tricks rained a volley of missiles on Pradyumna while he himself remained invisible in the sky. Pradyumna, who was capable of encountering 10,000 warriors alone, then used the Mahamaya spell to break Shambhara illusion. Then Shambhara used many other elusive devices used as Goyakshas, Gandharvas, Pisachas, Uragas, which is celestial Nagas, and the Rakshasas. But Pradyumna counteracted and diffused them all. Pradyumna then took a sharp sword and cut Shambhara's head with his shining jeweled crown, earrings, coppery beard, and mustache intact. The residents of Haven showered flowers on Pradyumna as he was taken to Dwarka aerially by Mayavati. Their vehicle, resembling like a cloud with lightning, then landed into the ladies' quarter of Krishna's palace. All the ladies were wonderstruck to see this strange, handsome young man in Pitambari with long arms and red eyes, a winsome smile and charming persona. His soft, like lotus-like face covered with dark curly hair, and assuming him to be Krishna himself, the ladies blushing shyly hide themselves.
Okay, so this is the battle with Sambrasur. Uh, so Sambrasur has the illusionary power, but Pradyumna is capable of encountering 10,000 warriors alone. So, and he will use Mahamaya to expel the uh, break spell to break Sambrasur's illusion. And the battle went on, and then finally Pradyumna took a sharp sword and cut Sambrasur's head with his shining jeweled crown, earning earrings, etc. And this was celebrated by the residents of heaven. They showered flowers on Pradyumna, and then he was taken to Dwarka by Mayavati. And in Dwarka, the ladies were wonderstruck to see this strange, handsome young man in Pitambari with long arms and red eyes. So he was looking like Shri Krishna. So that's the story of Pradyumna so far. Let's go into the next slide.
Anybody wants to read? Should I read?
Rather, I can read.
After that, I'll go. Thank you, Bhaiya Anjan. Yeah, Radhe Radhe.
Rather, then after some thought, they realized he is not Krishna as the distinguishing Kastub gem and Srivas mark were absent. They then came forward to meet him and were even more amazed to see the dazzling Rati accompanying him. The beautiful Devi Rukmini, whose eyes are naturally dark without need for collyrium, kajal, and possessing a sweet Bani speech too, arrived there, and seeing the young boy, so resembling her own lost son, was overcome with motherly affection. She thought, who could this young jewel in man be? Who could be his parents? Who could this dazzling beauty next to him be, whom he must have got though through good luck?
Okay, so in the picture we can see Pradyumna, whom everyone thought, who is this person who is resembling Krishna? And but when they distinguished the Kaustubh gem and Srivatsa marks were absent, so they figured out that he's a different person, and they also saw dazzling Rati accompanying him. So Rukmini ji also arrives there, and she sees the young boy resembling her own lost son. She was overcome with motherly affection. And then she is thinking, who could this young jewel in men be? Who could be his parents? And who could be the dazzling beauty next to him? So let's figure that out in the next slide. Radhe Radhe.
My own son, who has been kidnapped and missing all these years, must be as old as this young man, having the same features. And then how does this boy so resemble in features, limbs, gait, voice, smile, and glances to my own Lord, who wields the Sharang bow. When her left arm started quivering, Mata Rukmini was speculating that it must be her own son. When Lord Krishna, with his parents, Devaki and Vasudev, arrived, Shri Krishna, though knowing all, kept silent. That is when the glorious devotee Devarshi Narad Muni too arrived and explained to all gathered about Pradyumna's identity and his life events. The ladies burst into joy to get Pradyumna back, as if their own life that had been lost was now restored back to them. Devaki and Vasudev, Shri Krishna and Balram, along with Rukmini, embraced the couple, Pradyumna and Rati, and everyone were in total bliss. The Dwarka Vasis too rejoiced on hearing the return of their prince Pradyumna. Every time Pradyumna came in sight, being Kamadev incarnate, and also due to his close resemblance to his father Krishna, every onlooker, especially females, including his relatives, would go ecstatic in love, seeking his love and attention. Saying this, Sukhdevji concludes this chapter. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. So the son of Rukmini and Krishna is Pradyumna. Pradyumna gets married to Rati, and they were the wife and husband from the previous life also. Pradyumna is Kamadev and Mayavati is Rati. And they will get married, and their son will be Aniruddha, the grandson of Shri Krishna, who is also a very important personality. And Aniruddha will get married to Usha, and that's another very fascinating story we will read. So now in Bhagwat, we can understand the lineage that when the creation takes place, who is the first being? The first being is Brahma. And how does Brahma originate? He originates from the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. There are three Vishnus. Karnodakshai Vishnu, who resides in the causal ocean, Karan Samudra. And then from his pores of the body, millions, and in fact, the Bhagavad says, uncountable universes are emanating from every breathing out. So when Mahavishnu exhales from every pore of his body, uncounted universes are emerging. And when Mahavishnu inhales, uncounted universes are dissolving. So creation and dissolution. So this is in the causal ocean, the Karan Samudra. And then in each of these universes, which is called Brahmand, Sri Mahavishnu expands into the second Vishnu, which is called Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So now let us think about our universe, which is the universe of Chaturmukhi Brahma. So Chaturmukhi Brahma has 4 heads, and the Brahmand is to be created. So how does it get created? Mahavishnu takes the form of the second Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and from the Garbhodakshai Vishnu sweat, the universe gets filled with water, that is called Garbhodak water. So half of the universe is filled with Garbhodak water, and on top of that water, the planets are created. So we have the Bhulok in the middle, and then we have Bhuvarlok, then we have Swargalok, then we have Mahalok, then we have Janalok, then we have Tapalok, and then we have Satyalok. So this is the upper half of the universe, the vertical. And how big is this globe? 50 crore yojan, and 1 yojan is 8 miles. So 400 crore miles is the diameter and also the height. So now you know the Bhulok in the middle on top of the Garbhodak water, and this entire thing is resting on the second Vishnu, which is Garbhodakshai Vishnu, who is resting on Anantashesh. So at the bottom of the universe is Anantashesh and Garbhodakshai Vishnu being served by Lakshmi, and then the Garbhodak ocean and the Bhulok and Bhuvalok and Swaglok and Mahalok, Janalok, Tapalok, Satyalok. In the Bhuvarlok are the sun and the moon orbiting around the Sumeru mountain, which is in the center of the Jambudvip in the Bhulok. And then we have the different planets, the Venus, the Jupiter, the Mars, Mercury, etc., Saturn. And then we have the Saptarishis, the Great Bear constellation. And also we have the pole star, Dhruv Tara, right at the top. Dhruv Tara is right in the center, so on top of the Sumeru Parvat. And the sun is moving around the Sumeru mountain. On top of the mountain called Mansottar, which is located on top of Pushkar Dweep. Pushkar Dweep is the last dweep. So between Jambu Dweep and Pushkar Dweep, we have Palaksh Dweep, we have Shaka Dweep, we have Shalmali Dweep, we have Kranch Dweep, and then Pushkar Dweep. And in between the Dweep, the islands, there are ocean of salt water, ocean of sugar juice, sugarcane juice, ocean of liquor, ocean of yogurt, ocean of ghee, ocean of milk. And in that ocean of milk, Kshir Sagar, the third Vishnu resides, who is called Kshirodakshai Vishnu. And that Kshirodakshai Vishnu enters the heart of every living being in the heart of the Jivatma. And that is the Kshirodakshai Vishnu, again lying on the Anantashesh, being served by Lakshmi. And whenever there is a major problem in the planet, Brahmaji along with the Devatas go to Kshir Sagar and pray to the Kshirodakshai Vishnu. So this was just a glimpse of the 3 Vishnus and the structure of the universe, which is very important to know, because when we relate the stories of Bhagwat to the universe, it becomes a fascinating reading. So this is the slide. This is the picture which very nicely has been put by Vijay Bhaiya. So you can see Jambu Dweep in the center, and that's the Mount Sumeru, which is actually not shown correctly because it's inverted cone. So the top is larger and the bottom is smaller in dia. And the height of the Sumeru mountain, which you see in the center, is actually 100,000 yojan. That means 800,000 miles. And 16,000 miles is embedded in the Bhulok. And 84,000 miles is on the top. And now you can very beautifully see the sun, which is orbiting around the Sumeru mountain. That's the daily motion of the sun. But the sun is also going up and down in the Uttarayan and Dakshinayan in 360 days. So the movement of sun you can see is on the top of Pushkar Dweep, and that's the Mansottar mountain. And also between Jambu Dweep and other Dweep, you can see the different Dweep, the Palaksh Dweep and Shalmali Dweep and Shaka Dweep, and the oceans are written here. The ocean of wine and the ocean of curded milk, etc. And the ocean of milk, Kshirsagar, is also there. So the one below the subterranean is a much smaller region that's called Atal Lok, Vital Lok, Sutal Lok, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal, and Patal. So that's the Garbhodak ocean, which is written in the bottom. And if you remember in the third canto, we read about Hiranyaksh lifting the Bhulok and putting it into the Garbhodak ocean. That's what he did. He drowned, he submerged the Bhulok. Some people may think that he only submerged the earth. No, he submerged the entire Bhulok into the Garbhodak ocean, and that was lifted by Varah, avatar of Varah. And Varah killed Hiranyaksh and restored the Bhulok into the orbit. So that's a little knowledge about the cosmos. Also, while we read so much, we should know that what is there beyond Pushkar Dweep. So after Pushkar Dweep is Lokalok Parvat. So Lokalok Parvat demarcates the light and the dark. This is not shown in this model. There is another slide in which you can see the Lokalok Parvat. So beyond Lokalok Parvat is the dark space. The sunlight doesn't go beyond the Lokalok Parvat. But in one of the episodes in 10th Canto, we will hear how Shri Krishna has gone into the region after the Lokalok Parvat to search for a personality. And then once the Lokalok Parvat and the other side is called Alok Varsh because there is no light. So beyond the Lokalok mountain and the region, there are the layers of earth, water, fire, air, space, Panch Mahabhut, Panch Tanmatra, Ahankar, and Mahatattva. So these are the outer layers of this universe. And then you come to the end of the material universe, and then the spiritual sky begins. But the living being cannot go into the spiritual sky so long as it is contaminated by Maya. So at the every end of every day of Brahmaji, there is a partial dissolution. So does the entire universe dissolve? No. Only the Bhulok and Bhuvarlok, and if I recall, the Swargalok, they dissolve and they go into the Garbhodak ocean. And again, when Brahmaji wakes up, they come back. The creation begins. So in one day of Brahmaji, there are 14 Manvantars, and in each Manvantar, there are 71 Chaturyugis. Right now, we have completed 6 Manvantars, and the 7th Manvantar is going on. And in the 7th Manvantar, there is the 20th Chaturyugi. So in the 20th Chaturyugi, we have completed Satyug, Treta, and Dwapar, and now the Chaturyugi, the Kali Yuga is ongoing. So with that background, now let's go into the takeaways, and then we can conclude the session. So the takeaway is Vadanti Tatvidas Tattvam Yajkyanam Advyayam Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan Iti Shabdyate. So this is Lord Shri Krishna you can see being worshipped by the Brahmins, the cows, the saints, and everyone. So he is our worshipable Lord. That one supreme truth manifests in three ways as Brahma, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. The first, the all-pervading impersonal Brahma, performs no actions and is the object of worship of the Gyanis. Brahma can be compared to the effulgence seen in the distance by the residents of Dwarka. The aim of the Gyanis is to attain liberation by merging into this divine effulgence. The second manifestation is Paramatma or Supreme Soul who dwells in the heart of every living being and keeps a record of our uncountable actions of innumerable lifetimes. It is He who dispenses the fruits of actions and also notes each and every action of our present life. He is the object of worship of the yogis. The yogis have a closer experience than the Gyanis of the same Supreme Being. This is like the shimmering form seen by the residents of Dwarka. The third manifestation bestows grace by descending in his personal form on this earth. The personal form can be experienced with all the senses. The manifestation of God is the one that is most intimately experienced. The worshippers of this manifestation, Bhagwan, are called bhaktas or devotees. So I'm sure this is clear to everyone that God can be worshipped in three ways. One is called Brahma, where the God does not perform any actions. He is present in every atom, but there is no interaction, no action. It's like a dormant form. Then the second one is Paramatma, in which the God right now is residing in every living being. He is there in our heart also. So he is there in the heart of every living being. That form is called Paramatma. And the third form, which we are very familiar, is Bhagwan, like Shri Krishna or Shri Ram. So who worships Brahm? The Gyanis. The Gyanis don't worship the Paramatma or the Bhagwan. They are worshipping that impersonal aspect of the Lord, and they have the goal to merge into that personal, impersonal aspect of the Lord, and that mukti is called Sayujya Mukti or Kaivalya Mukti. The yogis worship the Paramatma form, so they have a greater realization compared to Jnani. But the greatest realization is by the bhaktas or the devotees who worship the God in the personal form. So Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagwan, that is what is described in the Bhagwat first canto, second chapter, 13th, 11th sloka. So now we move on to the next slide. The Gita says, Tapasbibhyo diko yogi Jnanibhyopi matodika Karmi Bhaschadiko yogi Tasmad yogi Bhavarjuna. 646 Gita. Yogi namapi sarvesham madgat antaratmana Shraddhavan bhajate yo mam same yukta tamo mataha, which is Gita 647. The yogi is superior to the ritualist, one who practices austerities, and the jnani, but even superior to the yogi is the bhakta. All three, the yogi, the jnani, and the bhakt, attain the same supreme being. All three are liberated and all three attain complete fulfillment by experiencing unlimited divine bliss for an eternity. Nevertheless, they are known differently based on the proximity of their experience to that same supreme being. It is on this basis that they are referred to as Jnanis, Yogis, or Bhakta. If the bliss experienced by the Jnanis is compared to that of seeing a mango, then that of the yogi could be compared to smelling it, and that of the devotee can be compared to the combined bliss of seeing, smelling, and tasting the fruit. So, such a wonderful explanation of the three manifestations of the Lord as Brahm, as Paramatma, and Bhagwan in Bhakti Shatak. Maybe that's the last slide. And if that is the case, let us now open up and invite any one of you to reflect on what we have studied and share something for the delight and knowledge of the participants. Radhe Radhe.
So, is there any summary like do you want to read or?
Oh, okay. So this is which chapter? Chapter 1055, right? Yeah, I can read. So very quickly, let us recall what we have studied in Bhagwat 1055, the story of Pradyumna. So I will do that. So maybe my internet is, why my internet is giving, oh, there is. So Bhagwat Puran, Canto 10, Chapter 55 is the story of Pradyumna. Chapter 1055 narrates the miraculous story of Pradyumna, the son of Krishna and Rukmini, who is the reincarnation of Kam, the god of love. Birth of Pradyumna. When Krishna and Rukmini's son was born, the demon Sambar knew from prophecy that this child would kill him in the future. So he kidnapped the baby on the 10th day after birth. He then threw the infant into the ocean. A large fish swallowed the baby. Later, a fisherman caught the fish. It was taken to the kitchen of Sambar. When the fish was cut open, the baby was discovered alive inside. A woman named Mayavati took care of him. Soon a sage named Narad arrived. He revealed an astonishing truth. The child is Pradyumna, son of Krishna. He is actually the rebirth of Kam. Earlier, Shiva had burned Kam to ashes when Kam disturbed his meditation. The gods predicted Kama would be born as Krishna's son Pradyumna. And Mayavati was actually Rati, the wife of Kamadev. Pradyumna grew up. Mayavati taught him Mahamaya mystic science to counter the demon's illusions. Sambar attacked using many magical weapons and illusions, but Pradyumna destroyed them and killed the demon Shambara. After the victory, Pradyumna and Mayavati flew through the sky to Dwarka. In Dwarka, everyone thought he looked exactly like Krishna. Rukmini recognized him as her lost son. He was joyfully reunited with his parents. Pradyumna married Mayavati Rati. Their son was Anirudh. This leads to the next famous story, Usha Anirudh episode with Banasur. Philosophical meaning of chapter 1055. The chapter teaches several spiritual ideas. Destiny cannot be avoided. Even though Sambar tried to kill the baby, the prophecy was fulfilled. Divine protection. Krishna's son survived impossible circumstances. Love, calm, purified by devotion. Calm, reborn as Pradyumna, symbolizes divine love rather than material lust. One beautiful verse idea from this chapter. This chapter implies a powerful message. Even when destiny seems destroyed, divine protection works secretly. The baby thrown into the sea returned as the destroyer of the demon. So, I remember one Bhagavad Gita shlok, Chipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat shantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. This is from the chapter 9, shloka number 31. What does Shri Krishna say? Chipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat shantim nigacchati. Even if a person is very sinful, most sinful, he can also be redeemed. He can also become purified because that is the power of bhakti. And very soon he will get purified. And Name Bhakta Pranashyati. Arjun, go and declare that my devotee never falls down. So Shri Krishna doesn't say Name Jnani Pranashyati. Shri Krishna doesn't say Name Yogi Pranashyati. Shri Krishna says Name Bhakta Pranashyati. So we should all be very much aware of this, that the Bhakti Marg is the highest and the Bhaktas are the dearmost to Shri Krishna. Radhe Radhe. With that, we can have some discussions and then conclude.
Yeah.
Radhe Radhe.
Very wonderful. Let's say the unconcluded Rajesh Priya. So, so I have a question like uh, devotees accept that God has three forms, but when you go to Gyanis or there are so many organizations, they don't accept God has a form. They just say that it's formless. So that's something like I I sometimes try to explain them, but then they have their own thought process, and then I feel like no, it's waste of time.
I have the
So
same issue with many of my colleagues, in one of the colleagues, in fact, and I was surprised that even after 20 years, he was maintaining the same. That Rajesh, ultimately we have to come to know all these talk about Krishna and Ram are intermediate knowledge. Once you become knowledgeable, you will realize that God doesn't have a form. So
yeah,
what to say? There are people like that, and in one stroke they are debunking the personality of Sri Krishna, the personality of Sri Ram, the personality of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the personality of Sri Kripaluji Maharaj, whom we also consider a divine personality. So wasn't Kripaluji Maharaj real? Okay, we may not have seen Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that we recall, but you and I have seen Kripaluji Maharaj in flesh and blood. So that's the form of divine. And how can we say that the divine cannot take a form? Actually, it is a very childish proposition, because the moment you say God is omnipotent, he has all the power. So when he has all the power, he can create so much of variegated creation. Why can't he take a form? This is a childish question. So definitely the form worship which Sri Krishna glorifies in 12th chapter is the best. Let the yogis follow Paramatma and worship Paramatma, and let the Gyanis worship Brahma. If we get a chance to convince them, fine. Otherwise, we shouldn't get very much concerned about that. Does
yeah,
that answer your question?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
thank you.
Thank you so much. Anybody else? Anybody has any question or like to share anything?
Radha Bhaiya,
Yeah,
no question, but it was good to refresh the structure of the universe. Again, it came very clear to the mind, and I wish I could remember these slokas, and also that, like Vijay Bhai was saying, while talking to others who can reference that, you know, but
Yeah,
I don't remember most of the time. So like the particular slok, like where all the four yugas have described what are the age of every yuga, how 71 times, all the mathematics. I'm very fascinated about that, but I don't remember the slokas itself.
हो जाएगा. अभी तो बहुत जवान है आप. धीरे धीरे सब हो जाएगा. Hmm?
It was good to refresh up, yeah, this
and
thing.
Bhaiya, I have one. I don't know, like maybe it is my sanskar or not, but I don't feel like reading slokas. I rather want to, understand and try to go
Yeah,
deep in the meaning. Like, because there are some organization like I made with them. They focus on like reading slokas, and so when I go there, I don't get that kind of seriousness, or kind of the deep interaction, or realizing that okay, समथिंग लाइक जैसे आता है ना कि भगवान के बारे में थोड़ा अच्छा लगता है सुनने के लिए. When I go with Sanskrit sloka, I don't get that connection with God. I go only when we
yeah.
hear the meaning.
That shows the maybe higher purity of your heart. You are not fascinated by the Sanskrit and the knowledge. You are more into the bhakti, and that's how it should be. The if we know the recipe theoretically, but we never made it practical, what is the point? Similarly, if we know the shloka and we don't know the meaning, so if we know the meaning, the purpose is served. So definitely knowing the meaning is more important. So again, it depends on our past and who is more into shlokas. Or for me, like, I mean, I started picking up some important shlokas, so it helps me. Let's say I'm talking about the sattvic food and rajasic food and tamasic food to someone, so deliberately I'll quote the shloka. So I tell them, I'm not
Yeah.
quoting the shlokas to impress you. I'm telling you, look at the beauty of the shloka. Ayu sattva bala rogya sukh priti vivardhana. Sometimes it works, sometimes it may not work.
Yeah, I mean, in one of the Gita Mahatma, like, and Bhagwata Mahatma, like, they were saying, like, if you read half of the slok also, you'll go to Vaikunt. They were saying, like, then I started feeling bad that why I'm not getting interest of, reading that sloka, and,
Yeah.
so,
So that reads half a shlok with that kind of intensity.
Bhaiya, your voice is breaking. We
your
can't
voice
hear
is
you.
working.
Sorry. Now,
Yeah, better.
Yeah, it is better.
okay. What I'm saying, like, if it is written that quarter shlok of Bhagavatam is enough to purify us, we cannot doubt that statement. But the
Yeah,
important point is the connection. Somebody has 1% connection, somebody has 20%, somebody has 30%. So they are talking about the 100% connection. So when you have 100% connection, every word is enough to send you into the highest. So
true. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I feel, used to feel guilty that why I'm not able to, read or kind of,
sure.
yeah, understand.
G.
Thank you so much for clarifying that.
Okay. So can we conclude then?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. बोलिए श्रीमद सदगुरु सरकार की
कार की
जय.
जय.
श्रीमद युगल
युगल
सरकार
सरकार
की
की
जय.
जय
जय जय
Jai
श्री
Shri
राधे.
Radhe.
जय
जय जय श्री
Jai
श्री
Shri
राधे.
राम.
Radhe.
जय जय श्री
Jai
राधे.
राधे
Radhe. I think Mayurji joined today, so Radhe Radhe Mayurji, like, we are almost done with the session. We'll can connect you or include you next
But we
time.
can just have a introduction from him if he wants to
Yeah,
say a word.
I
Okay.
think he just left. Okay,
Okay,
we
no
can.
issues. So yeah. So just look into it. I'm